Tail end of last season, 4-0. Barcelona beat Real Madrid, chipping away, right? Barcelona are back. We're back to where we were. Happy days. Messi and Ronaldo may be gone. The rivalry's still there. Everything. Okay, great. We're back. Oh, wait. Here we are. Real Madrid, 3-1. End result. We were thinking as well, like looking at the table here as well, 9 games gone, 25 points, 22 points for Barcelona now. This was a way to kind of close the gap here a little bit, but we wait 12 minutes and a familiar face comes on and just jumps on the scene. First of all, that kind of initial goal, Benzema scoring, and I guess, a lot of the build-up for this game as well. And with these games, while these two players continue to play for these two teams, it's going to be Lewandowski against Benzema, right? That's always going to be kind of the battle. That's the way that kind of the media is going to kind of fuel this. Which striker's better? They need some sort of rivalry. What did you make of that first goal from Benzema, you guys?
First of all, Jack, I'll give you a bit of context on what you stated. I think that Barcelona result last season, 4-0, it came in between the Paris Saint-Germain game, right? We were 15 points ahead of Barcelona in the league. That was a nothing result. I think it was just a very wild result. They capitalized on the fact that our focus was elsewhere because the league was practically ours to lose, and they capitalized thinking, well, they were back. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that came to nothing. In terms of the Benzema and Lewandowski comparisons, I think I've had this issue with Lewandowski since he's been at Bayern, where it's like the big games, most of the big games, not all of them, he seems to go very quiet. In this one, he made a lot of noise, but very negatively. I think he missed a chance from that looked like half a yard. I don't even think it was a yard. He was quiet. I think Militao really dealt with him well. And I mean, Benzema, I don't even think had a good game. He didn't have to have a good game, really. He just came back from injury, so I can understand it looked like he was taking things easy. But at the end of the day, the cream always rises to the top, and that's what happened there. I wish Vinicius would have actually scored the initial chance, but Benzema's composure at the edge of the penalty area was great with 3 Barcelona defenders on the line. So, yeah, I'll take a Benzema goal.
James, what did you make of that first goal?
Again, listen, the guy that I criticize a lot, Toni Kroos, does brilliant there, able to hold off his man, plays a fantastic ball, and Vinicius should score, but it falls to the guy who's just like, when we talk about the best, when we talk about Clasico, we talk about who's the biggest players in there. You think of your Messi and Ronaldo. Benzema has to be up there when it comes to numbers.
Benzema has a very good Clasico record. Very good Clasico
maybe better
record.
than Ronaldo.
No, I don't know. I think Ronaldo had that run where he scored, and I think 8 Clasico or 7 Clasico games in a row. But to be fair, I think Benzema was scoring in those same Clasico games as well. So I don't know. I think he's played a lot more Clásicos now. So yeah.
Jed, more for you, mate. I'm looking at kind of the stats here of the game, and I'm just wondering for you as a fan, because I know this speaks to a lot of fans and they really worry about this kind of stuff. 57% possession for the away team. Yes, it's Barcelona, but still the away team, 57% possession. They were allowed to get 18 shots off, only 5 of which were on target, but 18 shots allowed by Real Madrid. Does the possession and the conceding of chances, does that worry you at all? I mean, the game's won 3-1, so it didn't matter in the end, but...
No, because I could count the number of clear chances they had. 1, 2. It looked like the players were a bit tired from midweek, so we just let them have the ball. The game seemed like this. Madrid were in second, third gear, and we said, when we choose to press and when we choose to attack, we'll win the ball and we'll go and score. So other than that, Barcelona had a lot of meaningless possession within their back 4 and their midfield. That was
right where it's dangerous.
Yeah, so exactly, because if you look at their goals that they conceded, it came from silly mistakes in between the defense and the midfield. Their clear chances. They had their first clear chance in the second half about in the 75th minute or so. And most of their chances were half chances as well. So as soon as we started pressing, they start losing the ball. As soon as we go win the ball, we're going to score. So no, I feel like we picked when to do stuff and when not to do stuff. We didn't overcommit. We didn't need to always have the ball. The more you have the ball, the more you lose the ball.
Right.
So,
James, just James, to come to you real quick then. We're looking at a Barcelona team who's probably exiting the Champions League, right? This is a big loss. An El Clasico loss is a big loss, regardless of of any of the context, because it means so much to the fans, right? Obviously, it's always going to be big. But I mean, this is a pretty depressing first quarter of the season for Barcelona. I mean, are you back in Xavi, and are you backing these guys to be able to turn things around and maybe make a real push with Real Madrid?
Just a quick one. I think just to take it back, I think Barcelona, right? People who aren't actually watching, and I had this conversation with James. People who aren't actually watching Barcelona this season, I've watched all their games. Right. The last 2 games in the league against Mallorca and Celta Vigo, they were poor.
Right.
They were not playing well.
This was coming, what you're saying.
This was coming. They were not playing well at all. So so before the Inter games, they weren't really on that great form. They've played well in terms of like they're playing lower quality teams and they're able to hold a lead. But as soon as they played a half decent team in Inter haven't been great this season either. And I know obviously the first game had a lot of controversy surrounding that, but they conceded chances they shouldn't have. And if you look at the second game, look at that. And that second half sums everything wrong with Barcelona. So I don't think they're any better than what they were last season.
Right. I feel for me is that I think we might have got a falsehood from like the games and like the results. Jed mentioned how they were poor. Jack, there were some games where they were winning 4 or 5-0. You're seeing Lewandowski chip in with a hat trick here there, and Dembele's performances. But me looking at it, when 2 massive games against 2 sides that it's a must win, and to see the performances from certain players, like for me, who I've been highly critical of, a player like Dembele, I'm asking myself right now, is he developing at the rate that we want him to? Like, getting him on a pitch is a good thing, but now can we see these performances on a bigger stage? Because we knew the talent he had. It doesn't seem to come. And then I look at it from the point of view offensively. At times with Barcelona, it looks like they just run out of ideas on how to break down a team. And I look at sometimes Rafinha, has he fully adapted? Has he fully understand his role as a Barcelona player? There's a lot of stuff to be answered there. And then another thing for me is Ansu Fati. Why is he sitting on the bench when he came on? And to me, he had such a impact of Barcelona in a short cameo. So these little things that are going to be answered for Barcelona. But
I don't understand the Ansu Fati stuff. I don't know if he's afraid of him getting hurt again, because Dembele looks like someone who plays with his head down. There's so many times he's through on goal, or it's just one pass, and it's simple, and Dembele has the ability to do it, and then he just goes on to do his thing and completely wastes a chance. I don't understand why. Rafinha, I don't know. I think his preferred position is on the right, but then Dembele plays on the right. So he plays Rafinha on the left, and then it's like you're clashing 2 players. I think you need to bench one instead of playing both, because then you're compromising both players at the same time. So he's not settling in well because he's not playing in his position. And Ansu Fati, as to why he doesn't start, I don't know, because I think he's better than every winger they have in their team.
I feel we mentioned Barcelona, but I think the biggest credit for me, let's take it back to Real Madrid, is that Real Madrid from last season, we mentioned how, they don't play well, but they get results. But I feel like they've settled on this style of play that they're really good at right now, where, to me, the most effective thing for Real Madrid is that they can have, as you mentioned, 34% possession, and be so effective with that, with the sort of players that they have. The fact that you can see players like a Toni Kroos and Luka Modric not want to have the ball for 60-odd% of the game, but when they do get it, how devastating they are, how fast they get it into the front players like Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid just looks devastating.
Well, again, this is always the issue with any time that you look at stats, right? Because you can say, well, we had loads of shots, or like, Jed, you just talked about it. We had loads of possession. It's like, yeah, well, you had loads of possession in your own third, or the central third. You're not scoring from that. Shots, same thing. All shots aren't created equally, and chances aren't created equally either. handing Barcelona their first loss, Jed, that's got to feel good. Real Madrid still undefeated. How much longer can that go on for?
I I don't know. I think
Is
it
it
might.
is it an invincible thing, Jed? Let
No,
them
no,
know.
no,
Is
no,
it?
no, 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 no. I don't think.
Quick to turn that down.
No, we wouldn't, because I know that we are capable of dropping points when we don't have to. For example, a game that we dropped points in La Liga that we shouldn't have was against Osasuna. That was just, again, it was just one of those games where I think, well, it was 1-1. We missed a penalty. Benzema blasted it straight up to the keeper. I don't know what he was trying to do. So I don't think we'll go invincible, but I would like to try and stay undefeated going into the World Cup. So maybe in January and stuff, like I do expect us to lose. We're not going to win the Copa del Rey because for some reason we never ever put
It's not a big enough trophy, mate.
I want us to win it, but it just seems like we just don't want to, or we don't put enough effort into it. But yeah, I would at least want us to maintain this heading into the World Cup break, at least.
But Jed,
yeah.
Gearing up to this whole season, Real Madrid played 13 games, haven't lost yet. Looking strong in the Champions League. Don't have to play well. I think they play 14 games in
14. So I think it's 12 wins, 2 draws.
Yeah, like, exactly. But you guys ain't playing well, but you guys get results. Are we gearing up for another double season where you win the league, you win the Champions League again? Because it's going to be hard to knock off Real Madrid in a 2-legged affair.
I think it's just too early to make such predictions, especially with.
You're a proper fan. I respect it.
No.
That's a politician.
I'll be with you.
I understand. I totally understand where you're coming from. I like it. It's because James and I guess, don't have the fanship that you do for the team. So for me and James, I don't know about you. My pick for the Champions League is Real Madrid. It's never going to not be Real Madrid for the foreseeable future. Yeah, but you're right to be like negative. You know, you don't.
I'm just worried that like injuries at like in February, March, around the very wrong time could turn everything upside down. You know, I think we are one of the favorites of the Champions League, but I don't think we are I think Man City are the favorites for the Champions League this year. I do think they are. I'll honestly say. I think we're maybe second or third. I want us to win the league minimum.
Right.
We need to retain our title. We are not good at retaining the league. So that's the minimum. The Champions League, let's see how it goes. I mean, yeah.
Jed, okay, so you've taken a 3-point lead on Barcelona. Do you expect this to be a race that goes right to the wire, or are you expecting another comfortable Real Madrid title win?
I think we win the league by between 6 to 9 points. I feel like we will have like 2 game days left, and then we win the league. I think in terms of the league, I think we will sustain like somewhat of good form. So I think we'll drop points here and there, but I feel like Barca will drop points as well. And have they played Atletico? They haven't played Atletico.
No.
I think that's going to be a very weird game for them. A very chunky game for them. And I feel like Atletico could get something from them. But you remember Spain as well, we have the head-to-head rule. So we basically have a 6-point. This is a 6-pointer. Like, we're 3 points ahead of them, but that head-to-head rule was an extra 3 points until we play them again at the new camp, which I expect to beat them anyway. So, yeah. Oh, no, listen, for the last 3 to 4 years, I've expected to beat Barcelona. Every time we face them, we're like...
So tough.
To me, it's a constant. So, yeah.
Guys, you know what? Next time we do this Real Madrid Barcelona thing, we're definitely gonna have to get a Barca fan in there because Jed is the most anti-Barcelona guy ever. He's the most Real Madrid guy.
Get Timmy then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's Timmy when you?
Don't worry.
I'll be on the phone.
Timmy's confident in this team.
I'll be on the phone, but guys, as we say, Real Madrid win. Benzema wins over Lewandowski. The debate for now, but guys, will Real Madrid win the league? Comment down below. Let us know. Sammy, I know you got something to say about that. Comment down below. Let us know.
I think there's other players we need to give a bit of appreciation.
Also, Freddie Valverde.
All this Pedri and Gavi and all this like La Masia nonsense that I've been. What Pedri?
Terrible academy.
Gavi and all this. What's all this noise about? Valverde will literally carry all of them in his hands like that.
Listen. He's getting into his mood right now, guys.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, and we'll see you next time.